Here we are. Finally. Middle of nowhere. I mean, it's actually secretly somewhere. But it looks like nowhere. Or maybe it's nowhere but close to somewhere. That's probably a better description. Part of my urban wildlife exploration series here during this crazy pandemic. What a ridiculous time, huh? Aha. We can go that way, but I know where that goes. It makes more sense to go this way. I've never been here before. One thing I rather like about this is the lack of people. Again, I'm not unsocial. But the point of getting out here, in large part, is really not to spend time socializing. It's to spend time communing with, you guessed it, nature. That's right. This looks so primordial, doesn't it? It really does. And I suspect that it is in large part fairly artificial. Again, I'm not revealing where I am. Takes the mystery out. Mustn't have that. Perhaps a steady cam would be better. Where does this go? I do not know. I rather like the fact that I don't know. I'm actually trying to get lost. Really somewhat lost. I do spy traces of civilization, more than traces, but they're out of frame. Deliberately. This is, I'm guessing, the back way to the back. Or the way back. Or this is the way to get back. Or something like that. Where could this lead? And I must say, it is a bit of a trick filming this. Air quotes. Film is in air quotes there. Videoing, whatever the contemporary verb is for that. Somehow filming just seems to make the most sense. And enjoying this experience. See, this is a trail that goes to somewhere not very interesting. I know it doesn't go anywhere interesting. This, however, I suspect does. But where? Where does it lead us? You know? This could lead us just about anywhere. But this space seems so huge. And yet in the grand scheme of things, it really isn't. There's a charming wee little path. It's so wee. Squirrels running amok. I do rather like the way the sunlight forms shafts. I like the contrast. Now that's a hell of a woodchuck. Who've created that? No doubt it was really humans. People. So where does this go? Aha. That's hilarious. It's not a warning. It's a sign celebrating its existence. Right here. Toxicodendron radicans. What an appropriate name. Oh, look at the lovely poison ivy, honey. In its indigenous, location. And this is going to places I wasn't expecting, or at least a place I wasn't expecting. It does feel as if I'm a million miles away, though. That's very welcome. After having been cooped up in my tiny studio apartment for so long, it's so oppressive. This is quite welcoming. It's funny, I remember hearing my aunt's son, not really my cousin, sort of my cousin, by marriage, I suppose, who had grown up in the city when he was quite young, visiting us in the suburbs, not even the country. And this was many years ago. And the relative desolation compared to the density of the city that he was accustomed to, just freaked him out. He just couldn't handle it. The trees scared him. I thought it was really strange. And again, I spent most of my childhood growing up in the middle of nowhere. Fairly remote places. A little bit of a hill here. My God, I'm actually getting a little exercise for a damn change. I can sorely use it. Sorely. And I am exercising sorely. It's good for me. Aha, interesting. Does this remain a path, or what is this? Look how rocky this is. Pretty rocky. This is looking less friendly. Well, this just goes on and on. I'm approaching the approaching the 10-minute mark. Well, I've exceeded it. But I think this is as good a place as any to start winding down. There's a post up here. I wonder if it has any information on it. Let's find out. Before I sign out, what have we here? And it says nothing. It has a white face. But here we are.